Evening, boys. How we doing? All good, all good. Yeah, just give me a nod. Give me a nod. Good. Give me a thumbs up because at the minute you're not coming up on my screen. Oh, all right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Just let us figure this out. Let me press some buttons just to get everybody on screen. Okay, right. Let's just see and do. Right. So this should be you. Oh no, you're not there. I'll try you. Oh no, you're not there either. Let me try you. Oh no, you're not working. Let me try you. No, you're not working either. Sorry, boys. The the live stream people in the background say that they don't want you on screen this week. You're not good enough. You're not worthy. It's not as if they've bailed on me. I've bailed on them. So I'm sat here talking to myself again. But at least I'm doing it live. I mean, really, there's no difference between doing it live to a camera than doing it with other people to talk to in the background. I mean, really, there's nobody here. They've all got better things to do with their lives. One's off doing that, and one's off doing that, and one's off doing that, and one's off doing that. But it gives me an opportunity to talk about them behind their backs. And I can do it live. I would presume this is Harry. Hiya. Because I know it's just me this week. Nobody else has turned up. So if you want to write me a message, I can answer any questions that you've got. If you don't, and you just sit there and you watch me, thank you very much for viewing. So what am I going to talk about? I really don't know. But on the little bit of a picture and things like that, bit of a recap, really. Because did I ever expect to get to the point where I've literally got people watching me on the internet? And sometimes there's more than one that watches me on the internet. Because setting up all of these fish tanks and things like that was basically just for me. And I wanted to set up a fish tank. And then I wanted to have another one. Then I wanted to have another one. Then I wanted to have another one. And then I thought, if I'm sat here in front of a fish tank, having a beer, there may be other people that are interested in setting fish tanks up. So I might as well have a chat with them. And then it got to the point where, like when you're dating people, it's like you sort of know the moves. You sort of know the moves. And when people just turn up and like talking to you as though, oh, all right, I've watched a couple of your videos. All right, fair enough. Well, I'm doing a live stream. And then they came on and started chatting to me on live streams. And I was like, right, I've got you. So then when I was doing the live stream, just message in the live stream and then I'll know who you are and then I can talk to you. Because there's only me. So I need some help. But anyway, then you get the interaction of people that watch you and you think, oh, right, maybe they would want to come on a live stream. So then the next process was finding out whether they're of my sort of mindset. Evening, Keith. Thank you very much for joining in. So the boys have bailed on me this week. So it's literally just me. But this is how I started. Just me sat on my own with a beer, talking to myself, which I do quite a lot. But then obviously the boys decided that they were up for doing live streams. And then we got chatting and obviously then chatting on live streams and things like that. Because it's a very awkward conversation between you and me. Because all you can do is tippy type. And all I can do is chat rubbish. And I do that quite well. But from when I'm now looking through my YouTube of when I started doing the live streams, I started doing the live streams 6 months ago with actual people to talk to, and I never thought it would last 6 months. So I think I've done quite well, and this is the first time that I've ever sat on my own, because there's always been at least one of them that have been able to do it, but it just, the stars have aligned that they've all bailed. But the original part of setting this fish tank up, because this fish tank was set up on the 12th of October, and going through the process of this fish tank, and then that fish tank was set up the 18th of, that's October, sorry, that's November. So that system up there has only been running literally 10 days away from a year. And it takes about that sort of time to get things up to some sort of standard where you can show them off and you'd be proud of them and things like that. And it was always this, then once it's all done, I'm then going to need a social media platform. I'm then going to need to promote it all. I'm then going to need a shop. So all of the little bits that came together all at the same time, it was like, fuck it. What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen, Lee, is you sat again talking to yourself. I know. I'm my best person. The only person that wants to talk to me. But we're hopefully next week we may have people that want to show off fish tanks, and I think it will be quite a good one next week, because next week the process is that we're going to recap, because it's been 6 months since all of the boys came live on the internet. So we're going to do Ross's tank tour again, but obviously 6 months after the original one, which I'm quite looking forward to be fair, because there's a lot of stuff in there that the other boys have helped him with. And he's even been a sneaky little bugger of going behind my back and asking them for advice. I mean, I'm the only one that knows everything, surely. The others just tried selling him bog rolls, and they've actually managed to sell him a bog roll. And then the progression of Dave's frag tank, that may be a good one again, because he's now got corals in there. And I've given him some corals to see like different positioning and things like that, because doing a frag tank is a little bit different to a normal fish tank as such, because positioning, you've only got a flat layer, you've not got ups and downs, you've only got sides to sides basically. So seeing how that's come on is going to be quite good. Daryl the other day put in the group chat that he was throwing away one of my corals because it was growing too fast. I mean, really, you just can't help some people, can you? Growing too fast. And he's thrown it away. I think he's binned it. But more, the reason that I've come on tonight, don't take that any way other than I'm on the internet, because I haven't come on tonight, because that's totally different, was basically just to say that the live stream got cancelled once before, but there's plenty of people that watch it on catch up, and obviously me then coming on the internet now and saying that they've all got other things to do, because all this was meant to be was something that I just magically came up with as a stupid idea and thought, oh, that'd be a brilliant idea to do. And then I've got other people that actually enjoy doing it, to be fair. We chat in the background, we've got a group chat going on, and sometimes they're like old women, they just don't shut up. 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, really? Because I wouldn't let him, because I'm the one that grows it and sells it. I don't do this magicalness for no particular. It's all about the money. Well, it's not all about the money. It's all about helping people and giving them. So the same coral that Daryl's put in his fish tank, and he's now thrown it away because it's a weed and it grows too fast. Ross has had exactly the same fish, exactly the same coral in his tank, and has killed it 3 or 4 times. And all I keep doing is replacing it, because it will grow like a weed. And it's a very good coral to see that you can actually grow a stick SPS coral. But when I first started with the exact same coral, I was buying it at, I think it was £30 a time when I was buying it. And I bought it and it died. And then I bought it and it died. Then I bought it and it died. And I couldn't get my head around what I was doing wrong, to be able to know where I needed to change things. We could have gone halves, yes, but then I would grow it for a weed in here, and then I'd throw it away because I've got loads in here as well. And it's one of those corals that if we were to say in the SPS world, it's very much like a green star polyp or a pulsing xenia or a Kenya tree. There's plenty of people that put Kenya trees. I put Kenya trees in, but then you get to the point where Kenya trees get big and big and big, and you want to move on to a next coral. Then you want to move on to a next coral. And that's why the first Kenya tree that I bought my first Kenya tree at 30 quid, and there weren't any anywhere. Nobody was fragging them in home systems or anything like that. Whereas nowadays, if you're willing to take a coral out of somebody else's home system, which obviously I personally wouldn't, because you can't generally see all of the different bits that go on with it. And if we all go to the buying things out of other people's systems, then shops wouldn't exist. And that's the thing. If we all have to buy everything online, then there's no interaction with anybody. If the interaction that I'm having with the internet now is the way that society is going to go on, then nobody's going to talk to anybody. People used to go to the pub and sit down and have a chat about stuff, but they don't anymore. They sit at home because it's far cheaper to sit at home and have a beer than it is and go and pay however much a pint in a pub. But yeah, it's just one of the things. Everything's just getting more and more expensive, but then cheaper in the same way. And then we'll all just literally be locked at home drinking beer and talking over the internet. Get in a shop, talk to people. I mean, it's not a touchy-feely environment, because I don't want people to come and start touching me. I mean, really. But getting to interact with people and actually speak it. I may be a robot over the internet, because there's not a lot of people that come into our little shop that see me as an actual person. The other people may be there's people in Germany watching me on the back bit of the YouTube bit. It's really weird, because you can see the different countries that people are watching you from. And at the beginning, I put into some of my videos Coral Farm, and the people that were watching were in Indonesia. Now, I would presume that they were looking for a job when they were looking for a coral farm. They weren't looking for an idiot in Scunthorpe. They were probably searching coral farm for a job, but stumbled across me. So what other things could you put in to get people to view and stuff like that? It's weird. Sometimes I'll do videos, and my latest thing at the moment, yeah, basically. But at the moment, I'm messing about with, when I put videos, I'm putting different hashtags on. So putting a hashtag on a video will bring it up in other people's feeds that may not have ever viewed my profile before. I'm trying to do a bit more on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they're the 3 platforms. I don't do TikTok. Not bothered about TikTok, even though I've got a TikTok shop, but I don't really do anything like that. But the process of the 3 platforms was all about just building something, and building something from scratch is quite hard to do because you have to have all of the things of the stars align. I mean, there's some people that are on YouTube that have got thousands of subscribers that are as dull as dishwater, and that's not me. And well, I may be as dull as dishwater, which is why I've got nobody that's subscribing to me. But then there's other people that do loads and loads of different content that I sit and watch, and I'm like, why are people watching you? But then you may think exactly the same as me. But the process of going through a start to finish of a hobby, you can start a fish tank on day 1, and within a year to 18 months, you've completed that game, because everybody can start with either a 2-foot cube or a 3-foot fish tank, or even a 10-foot fish tank. And you can start the game on day 1, and you can get to the point where if you had say a 10-foot tank full of soft corals and then just let them grow out, you would have completed that game. But then people then want to challenge themselves on the next type of coral and going into dosing, and then going into all light settings and UV settings. And I mean, it was amazing the other day when we did the live stream that Ben has got 10,000 litre an hour pump running his system, which is overkill. But it's his way of looking at a marine fish tank and wanting to do something that's out of the norm. And there's a lot of people out there that will do something slightly different because they just want to. In the shop today, we've had fish delivery, and one of the fish that was delivered was an Achilles tang. And we've done a good deal for the customer with an Achilles tang. It's not a fish that I've ever seen up close and personal before. Never. I've always seen it on the internet, but I've never seen one in the flesh as such. But it's a best part of a £500 fish. Now I'm in this hobby exactly the same as the person that's bought this fish, but would I put £500 into a fish, into putting it in my box of water? No, I wouldn't. But then now I've seen it, I might do, because then it'd be different and I could show off on the internet, and then I may get some more subscribers because I've spent 500 quid. But it's why you're in the hobby. If I'm happy sat here in front of this fish tank talking for 18 minutes, thank you very much for putting up with me, by the way, Keith, then this is my hobby. This is what I do on a Friday night. Sit. And normally I've got people to chat to, but this Friday night we haven't. So I've waffled on, and I'm only going to do another couple of minutes, because the whole point of the YouTube side of it, and the whole point of the Instagram side of it, and the whole point of the Facebook side of it, is to be able to build a profile of the little shop that we've got. Because there's a lot of shops out there. There's one just down the road that's got a millionaire that owns it. And my interaction when I was a customer in, I want to say my shop, because generally it is my shop. You would walk in, and Martin's always got time for you. He's always nice. He's always polite, up until the point where he employed me, and I F and blind no end in that shop, which is very unprofessional, but it's a hobby in my estimation. This is not what I do for a living. It's a hobby. At any point, he could turn around and say, "Lee, you got a bit too far there," and that would be it. And then I would set up in a car park somewhere, and then people could come and talk to me in the car park. But building the profile of that little shop, there's only me that's an idiot that's willing to do this. And if I'm putting corals into that shop that are cheap enough for people to start to come from Manchester, if you can come from Manchester and put 20 quid worth of petrol or diesel or electric in your car, and you can buy something on a jolly, because everybody loves a jolly, that's cheaper in Scunthorpe than it is in Manchester. The only reason it's cheaper in Scunthorpe than Manchester is because Manchester's got a massive base of people. In London, people have got a massive base of things, but it shouldn't deter people from getting into the hobby. If you're on the outskirts of Manchester and you go in to any of the established shops that's there, and you're seeing things for 50 quid, potentially they're going to be 30 quid in Scunthorpe. And that's the process of where I want to get. So going forward, I'm potentially going to put my prices up, but have like a little inside click, because half-cut corals, if you part of half-cut corals, then obviously you're going to get a little bit of an inside track. If you want to come down to the shop and say, "Oh, half-cut corals said you do really affordable corals," then you should be able to get a discount. All the rest of the people that don't tune in get nothing. Dead to me. Are you allowed to say dead to me on when you're trying to promote something? I don't really care. I've just done it. Right. So 22 minutes and all on my own. I've been assured, have people next week. So thank you very much for being a person that watches my YouTube madness. The more times that you comment, the better. So if you just want to randomly put comments and things like that, just put random comments. But the more people interact with this as a live stream, and the more people put comments in the chat, the more it will gain momentum, and the bigger it will get, and then we will see what happens. This time next year, Ronnie or Keith, whichever. Right, I'm off because my beer's run out. That's basically why I'm off, and it would be very, very awkward if there was just an empty chair. So thank you very much. Hopefully next week I've got some other people for you to watch, and I hope you sat in front of a fish tank with a beer. See you later.